Now you see, today we'll be dealing with recombinant DNA. So basically, recombinant DNA plays a very important and vital role while we are dealing with DNA technology. Now you see one thing, that DNA technology cannot be accomplished without these key tools. That means these are the tools that is very primary for that to get a recombinant DNA. Okay, so now you see what are the various tools that is very important to get a recombinant DNA. The first and the primary is the restriction enzymes. Now what is restriction enzymes is that particular enzyme that used to dissolve the required DNA that you want to fix at a recombinant DNA. Okay, so that means that is one, that restriction enzyme is used to cut off that piece of DNA that you want to get added to the vector DNA. Now next is the polymerase enzyme. Polymerase enzyme is the enzyme that is used to add together, join together. Ligase is another one that is used to add the DNA fragments. Then you have a vector means it is a medium that gets loaded and held. Basically we have the plasmids that acts as a vector, and then the primary thing is a host organism where you want to insert these DNA along with the normal DNA so that it can multiply with it. Now basically we need those cells only that have extra chromosomal DNA. So basically this extra chromosomal DNA is present only in the prokaryotic cells. Now here you see restriction enzymes. Basically this restriction enzymes, they are two enzymes. Okay, you see here they are two enzymes are responsible to give you one restriction enzyme. How are they? One gets added to the methyl group of the DNA. One restriction enzyme gets added, and the second one cuts the DNA, and that is known as the restriction endonuclease. You know, the first endonuclease restriction enzyme was known as HIN2. Okay, now it was actually isolated from E. coli. Now see what happens, what it does, it cuts the DNA. It cuts the DNA at a specific sequence. Now what is the specific sequence that acts as a marker at the recognition site? That is the sequence where they have got a 6 base pair. So 6 base pair is the specific sequence where they cut the DNA, and this is also known as a recognition sequence. That means the 6 base pair sequence is marked as a recognition sequence. Now here you see there are more than 900 restriction enzymes that are identified till date. Okay, 900 enzymes. And now how nomenclature means the naming. How do you name that? The nomenclature of naming the enzyme is from the first letter comes from the genus. The second letter comes from the species of the prokaryotic cells. Mind it, whatever we are using here is basically all prokaryotic cells. And see, from where they are isolated. Okay, so from the isolated, for example, we have an example of EcoRI. Now what is EcoRI? See, E comes from the Escherichia, that is the genus. Coli is the species, and R. What is R? R is the Roman number of the order from which it is isolated. So that is why it is marked as EcoRI. Somewhere it is EcoRY. So that means E comes from the species. Coli, Escherichia is the species, is the genus. Coli is the species. Then R is the Roman number of the order from which it is isolated. Okay. Now here you see. Again, see, the large section of the nucleus belongs to two types. What are the two types? One is the endonuclease and another is exonuclease. exonuclease. So what is basically exonuclease does? Exonuclease actually removes the nucleotide from the DNA. That means it identifies the site or it identifies the recognition sequence of the DNA. That is the work of the exonuclease. And what does endonuclease do? Endonuclease basically cuts the DNA. Endonuclease basically cuts the DNA at the specific position where it inspects. Okay, it cuts the DNA at the specific position where within the DNA. So what is the function? How does it function? Function basically, you see, it inspects. First, the endonuclease, what does it do? It inspects the whole length of the DNA. Then, while it inspects, it identifies the specific recognition sequence. That means from where they have to cut the DNA. That is automatically synchronized and identified by the exonuclease. After that, what they do? It binds to it. It binds to what? It binds to that specific recognition recognition sequence. It binds to it. Now after when it binds to it, then the endonuclease finally cuts the two strands of the specific site of the sugar phosphate background. Okay, you have a sugar phosphate group, isn't it? An adenine and guanine, that means a nitrogenous base, a sugar phosphate background, and hydrogen bonding. So they do not cut the sugar phosphate background, they only cut. Okay, now from where do they cut? They identify as a palindromic sequence. Palindromic sequence, it actually forms the recognition site. Okay, so what is known as basically a palindromic sequence? Base pairs that read same from both the sides. For example, I have written AATTAA. Okay, so AATTAA, it is same if you read it from left to right, and same sequence it goes from right to left. As in the English word, we have Malayalam. If you read Malayalam from right to left, it gives you the same spellings, same alphabets, and from here to there it gives you the same spelling. Now here another one enzyme that we come across is DNA ligase. Now here, if you see clearly in this figure, you see that the red one, if you see this red one, it is basically comes from the vector DNA. See, enzyme that cuts the DNA, you have the vector DNA, and here this is the DNA of the E. coli bacteria, sorry. And you see that if you focus here, you see that 2 points it is cutting. One is at the G point and another one is the A point, G and A. And in the middle, you see AATT is there, and below it is TTAA, all complementary base pairs. Okay, so they from the this is the foreign DNA, so they form this identifying sites. Now when they form there, see, they leave a little. See, C and G is left there, and here G and A, see, one part is little left. So when they identify, and here you see they cut it, foreign DNA, and what do they cut? AATT. AATT, you can see basically it is AATT out here, and AATT here, and here it is also a palindromic sequence, AATT and AATT, two words. So there they identify. And now you see the sticky ends here. Why is it called a sticky end? Because of the presence of the hydrogen bonding. And finally you see with the help of a ligase, okay, with the help of a ligase or DNA ligase, you may call it, these are all enzymes. So with that, this recombinant DNA structure is formed. Clear? Now if you focus on this figure, you see here you have the foreign DNA, this strand is there, and here is the vector DNA, basically plasmid. I said these are only possible only in prokaryotes, where you have an extra chromosomal DNA, and that is known as a plasmid. Okay, now with the restriction enzyme or restriction endonuclease, it is spliced and cut, and here see it is introduced with the help of a ligase. Now once it goes inside the plasmid, then it is again goes inside the cell. Now it is introduced into the transformation E. coli, and then when this E. coli it divides, it gets included in the normal one. So that is how it is produced.